Hello, everybody. It is Alex with TVFortitude here, back once again. It has been quite a while since I've been here. Um, I've not talked about any of the other Paranormal Activity movies yet. We will be doing that at a later date, but I do want to discuss the new Paranormal Activity movie and my thoughts on it. So, I don't really know any of the character names in this movie. I can't remember it off the top of my head. But there's one main girl who's looking for her mother who gave her up when she was a baby. She did like 23andMe, found one of her relatives, and arranged with going and meeting her supposedly Amish family and learning about where she came from, essentially. Coming along with her are a sound guy that she's never met before and her friend that she has met before. So they know each other. They meet up with a sound guy that they don't know, and they go to this Amish farm. It's generally disconnected from the rest of the series, I would say. Most people have not found the connection between the other movies. I looked up this movie, looked up a few things about it, and on Wikipedia, it does say that Asmodeus, to like jump around here a bit, Asmodeus is Toby. So, that is Toby, that character at the end. And I have heard a few people mention that this movie's not entirely found footage. And it's like, no, this movie's found footage. It's entirely found footage. I think people get confused because at the very end, it's not just one camera. I think that's what confuses people. It switches to the perspective of like police officers' body cams and then like their dash cam camera. It's doesn't switch to not being found footage. It just switches cameras, and I think that goes over a lot of people's heads. And also, I think that you could easily fit this movie in the timeline. I think it's at the end of 4. You see like the huge group of people outside. Seemed like an Amish cult or something. It could be these people, and we could find a way to tie the whole story together that they ended up containing Toby in that child or something. I don't know. We could figure it out. I'm gonna have to do some workshopping with the theory. But point is this could easily work itself into the series. Easily. This series has so many crumbs laying around that this movie picks up with in a very interesting way, as most Paranormal Activity movies do. It lists more things that have questions than answers to why they exist. And, I mean, you can't get that upset about that if you're watching a Paranormal Activity movie. All of them have done that. All of them have posed more questions than they've answered. So I don't see why this movie should be to blame for that. This movie takes the series in a new direction. All of the characters, for me, relatively land. A lot happens in the movie, which some of the other movies struggle with. Not a lot happened in it. It's a slow burn that ramps up heavily at the end with some major payoff. There are a couple times where you're like, why on earth would you make that decision? One in particular where a character decides to go down a hole. That's all I'll say with that. I'm just like, why would you do that? Like, some people have described our main character, our main protagonist, as having no sense of their own personal safety. And that's pretty fair. Like, they want to find out this information at all costs. It doesn't matter what happens to them. And I do understand that complaint with it for sure. Maybe you could write that off with something paranormal. I don't know. But thing is that this movie lands a lot better than most of the Paranormal Activity movies for me. It doesn't do as well of a job tying itself together. When you watch this movie by the end, you're like, I don't see how that connected, because they don't do any specific attempt to connect it, but you can connect it. And when you look on Wikipedia and you see that Asmodeus and Toby are the same character, then things just start to fall into place. There is a lot that we can workshop as far as theories of what is going on here. And I really hope the series keeps going forward. I absolutely love this film. I am very surprised to see the very negative public perception of it. I really hope to see more Paranormal Activity movies, and this one made me even more eager. Absolutely phenomenal compared to the Ghost Dimension. Anyways, everybody, until next time, this is Alex with TV Fortitude, Horror, signing off.